Imagine standing before a vast mirror of polished obsidian, much like those used by Aztec priests to glimpse the threads of fate. The reflection you see is not merely your face, but the sum of every battle you have ever fought and, curiously, every time you stopped just short of victory. Behind the brilliance of humanity's greatest achievements lies a silent shadow that toppled empires long before any army crossed the borders. It is an invisible foe that whispers into the ears of generals, kings, and architects, convincing them that failure is inevitable or that success is too dangerous to sustain. The mystery we are about to unravel is not buried in Egyptian sands or hidden in Mayan jungles, but etched into the deepest patterns of our own minds. What happens when the greatest obstacle between you and your desire is not the world, but your own hand holding the reins? Why, at the exact moment when glory seems within reach, do so many of us choose, unconsciously, to retreat into the safety of defeat? If you seek to understand the invisible forces that shape human destiny and wish to decode the secrets of civilizations that either thrived or crumbled because of their own choices, this is the moment to become part of our journey of knowledge by subscribing now, ensuring you never miss a fragment of this history we are rebuilding together. Think of the great conquerors of antiquity. They did not fight only against spears and arrows, but against the crushing weight of their own ambitions. Self-sabotage is an ancient inheritance, a survival tool that has transformed into a modern trap. In the heart of ancient Rome, amidst the cold marble of palaces and the scent of incense rising to the gods, powerful men sabotage their own legacies for fear of the loneliness that the mountaintop imposes. Success demands a transformation so profound that, often, the fear of losing who we were outweighs the desire for who we might become. In the dusty streets of Mesopotamia, the peasant who feared a bountiful harvest, believing the gods would exact too high a price, is the same person who, millennia later, procrastinates on the project that could change their life. It is a constant tension between the drive for expansion and the instinct for preservation that keeps us small, protected within a mediocrity that is both comfortable and suffocating. Visualize the moment a great structure begins to crack. It is not the external impact that causes the collapse, but the internal micro-fissures ignored for decades. Such were the empires, and such are we. When you sabotage what you desire most, you are actually trying to protect yourself from a responsibility that your mind does not yet feel capable of carrying. The weight of the crown is real, whether it is made of gold or of achieved goals. There is a historical phenomenon where societies reaching the pinnacle of sophistication began to adopt self-destructive behaviors, abandoning the very values that made them great. Luxury bred apathy, and apathy bred the fall. Similarly, in our lives, the fear that success might change us or alienate those we love creates a defense mechanism that makes us trip over our own feet, forget commitments, or doubt our capacity just as the door of opportunity swings open. It is as if we have an internal thermostat for happiness and fulfillment. When things get too good, our system panics and tries to lower the temperature to a level it recognizes as safe. Walk now through the corridors of an ancient library, where the scent of papyrus and dust fills the air. There, the records of philosophers and sages already warned of the inner demon, the voice that diverts us from our purpose. Human history is a cycle of construction and destruction, and the most tragic pattern is that in which the builder becomes the demolisher. What do you desire today? Freedom, recognition, peace? If you feel that something is preventing you from moving forward, look at the small daily choices, those that seem insignificant but, added together, form the wall separating you from your goal. Self-sabotage is an inverted rite of passage. Instead of crossing the threshold into a new life, we retreat into the womb of the known. It is a Greek tragedy written in real time within daily life, the hero who, fearing the prophecy, ends up fulfilling it precisely by trying to flee from it. We are simultaneously the hero and the cruel fate we seek to avoid. Human nature seeks consistency, even if that consistency is misery. If you grew up believing you do not deserve abundance, your mind will make a monumental effort to prove you right. It will sabotage healthy relationships, ruin professional chances, and create endless distractions to ensure that external reality matches your internal vision. It is a distorted form of loyalty to old wounds. Look at the ruins of civilizations that ignored signs of drought and continued to plant the same crops, expecting different results. They were not victims of the climate, but of their own inability to adapt. When we sabotage our desires, we are refusing to adapt our identity to the next level of existence. We prefer to die with what we know than to live in a new and unknown territory, no matter how prosperous it promises to be. The great revelation lies in the fact that desire and fear are two sides of the same coin. Where there is great potential, there is always an equivalent resistance. The ancients understood this through myths and monsters guarding treasures. The dragon is not there to stop you from taking the gold, but to test if you have the courage to be its master. Sabotage is the inner dragon. It appears in the form of laziness, paralyzing doubt, or vices that drain the energy needed for ascension. If you do not confront this mechanism, you end up like the abandoned cities in the desert, majestic in potential, but empty of life and purpose. It takes an act of Herculean will to break the cycle, to look at one's own resistance and declare it is no longer necessary. The safety of the cave is an illusion that costs us the entire world. As we look at the ashes of the past, we realize that the only difference between decline and evolution is awareness. Those who learned to recognize their own patterns of sabotage were the ones who left indelible marks on the chronology of the earth. They understood that true power is not over others, but over the shadows that dwell within one's own chest. The end of sabotage begins when you stop blaming the gods, luck, or enemies and take your place as the architect of your own existence. What would you do if you knew that every stumble was, in truth, a hidden choice made by your own ego? The answer to that question is the key to unlocking the gates of your own personal renaissance. History is not made only of great pitched battles, but of silences and decisions made in the dark. If you feel that this is the moment to stop fighting yourself and start building something that stands the test of time, know that this journey requires constant companionship and wisdom. Reflecting on the collapse and glory of civilizations is the mirror we need to understand our own souls. Therefore, if you wish to continue exploring these mysteries and strengthen your vision of the world and yourself, be sure to subscribe and follow our channel. Together, we will continue to excavate the truths that time tried to erase, so that you may never again be the sabotager of your own destiny. What will be your next construction? The world awaits your awakening.